Welcome to Home Organizing for Beginners. I'm Tammy, your home organizing educator. In each episode, I share a microscopic home organizing topic. That just means it's something you can implement today from start to finish if you so choose. This is the third of a three-part series on overcoming overwhelm at home. Last week, I reviewed how prioritizing the way we're taught actually makes us feel more overwhelmed and how you can prioritize instead so that you can get stuff done. Today's microscopic home organizing topic is creating a dependable system that will capture all the thoughts, ideas, and to-dos that cross your mind. The whole concept of a capture system is what I had been looking for seemingly forever, but until I found it, I didn't know it's what I needed or that I was even looking for it. Are you thinking, wait, what did she say? I know, go back and listen to it again. It actually makes sense and is 100% true. So with the capture system, I don't stress and I don't get overwhelmed as often. I think my search for a capture system started when my oldest daughter was pretty young and she had the opportunity to play summer softball with her friends. We had talked about it and we decided we would go ahead and sign her up. Weeks went by and I didn't hear anything back from the coaches, so I decided to reach out and email them. And I was kind of irritated, admittedly, because I needed to get our summer schedule put together. I needed to know when practices were, when games were, and that kind of stuff. So I sent the email and I asked some questions and I got a reply back that my daughter wasn't signed up. Oh my word, I thought for sure she was wrong. I was so mad. So I started angrily sifting through all of the piles of paper we had laying all over the house. It took me at least an hour, I'm sure more, but I was driven to prove the coach wrong. Well, come to find out, as you can imagine, I'd never actually sent the form in. It was still sitting in one of the piles with the check attached. When I told my daughter, it was kind of an image that I'll never forget because the tears were streaming down her face and it was really all my fault because I didn't have my act together because I didn't know that I hadn't sent the piece of paper in, right? So this situation really spurred me to research different ways to manage all of the things within my house. And having this capture system was a game changer. As someone who is or feels like they're just starting their home organizing journey, you want to be set up for lasting home organizing solutions, right? In order to make that happen, you'll have to do something different than you've done before or what society tells us. Instead of allowing overwhelm to rule your life and make you feel anxious and frustrated, you can create a capture system so that you have something you can depend on to capture all your thoughts, ideas, and to-dos. In this episode, I'll share the components of a capture system. I'll share the only tool I use with my capture system and how you can implement the same thing or something similar. So this really isn't about the tools used. Instead, it's about the actual system, the process, that it's something you can depend on to capture all the things you have to do, all the things you want to do, and even things you want someone else to do. To feel less overwhelmed, you have to get everything out of your mind and into something you trust. The trust factor is huge, right? If you do a brain dump onto paper and leave it there, if you don't have time to update it regularly, it won't be something you truly trust. Does that make sense? A capture system allows you to prevent your mind from filling up with your to-do list, which allows you to think more clearly and ultimately be more productive. So I have 4 things listed that are the important components of a capture system. So the capture system needs to be easy to add to the list, easy to assign a priority, perhaps a date and time to be completed, and easy to modify that priority. And last, it needs to be accessible no matter where you are. Okay, so this is it. A capture system is a system that you can depend on every single time to not only capture what you need or want to get done, but also allows you to regularly review and prioritize. It's dependable because you use it. You always go back to it no matter what. You can update it quickly and don't stress or get as overwhelmed because of this dependable capture system. Things won't fall through the cracks. I've been using the Remind app on my iPhone for years. I can actually go back and see the completed tasks from years ago if I wanted to. I do share screenshots of my reminders app at homeorganizingforbeginners.com/capture system. Go check it out when you get a moment. So I use this app for several reasons, but mostly because it meets all the important components of a capture system. I can easily add to the list by using Siri. So when I'm driving, I can add to the list, which was really a game changer. We all spend a lot of time in our cars, right? The priority or due date and time are also easily changed and can be changed in mass. So I can select 10 things that I had on today's to-do list that maybe I didn't get done. I can move it to tomorrow or next week, whatever date I want to pick. And it's free. So that's really just kind of a bonus. So I've tried all sorts of different ways to track what I needed to do. Planners with to-do lists, Google Sheets, calendar, events, and meetings, Google Keep, notes on my phone. Some aspects of each worked, but not any one of them had the complete package like the Reminders app has. So the absolute main thing you need to know is that the capture system works when you use it. So the tool I use may not be the tool you use. Understanding what the components are important. If you want to bounce ideas off someone to help you develop your own capture system, one that you can depend on, I'm happy to help. Go to homeorganizingforbeginners.com and click the Ask Me Anything link. Fill out the form and I'll get back to you. This is a completely free service that I offer. You get to utilize my experience and expertise right in your inbox. All you have to do is ask. So let's dive into how to implement a capture system. I'll warn you now, this will take trial and error. In order to find out the best capture system that works for you, you're going to have to try different ones. So step number 1, decide what components of a capture system are important to you. Start with my list. You can add to it or you can take away from it. Again, the components are, it needs to be easy to use. It needs to be easy to assign a priority. It needs to be easy to modify, and it needs to be accessible no matter where you are. Step number 2, do a little research on what the different tools are that you may want to try. Some examples: reminders on your iPhone, Google Keep, which is accessible in both Apple and Android, Todoist. You might have to pay for this, I'm not entirely sure. Asana, Google Tasks, Microsoft To Do, and then pen and paper. It worked for people for years, right? Think through what your preferences are in using tech or traditional tools. Lean into what comes naturally. You should not tell yourself, if I would just do X, Y, and Z, then I could make this work. It's good to challenge yourself, but when trying new things like a capture system, you want to start where you are at right now. You can always grow from that point. Step number 3, start with a brain dump into the tool that you have chosen to use. It will feel a little clunky at first, but stick with it. Keep trying it. If you feel it's not working, go back to step 1 and try again. Whatever you do, don't give up. This can be life-changing. To know you have everything important to you captured in a system that works for you truly opens up so much capacity for other things, or to simply rest. Join me next week. I'll be sharing how you can fit organizing your home into your already full schedule. Thanks so much and have a great day.